Be me, Senior Network Engineer for ApexNet Solutions, a regional ISP providing backbone internet and cloud services to businesses across the Tri-County area. 12 years on the job. I maintain stability. My systems are robust. My motto is change is an enemy unless fully vetted. Be not me, Draco Phoenix Kalen, our new lead innovations architect. Fresh out of some online coding bootcamp, zero enterprise experience, and an ego that could power a small city, he was hired to disrupt our stagnant legacy systems. He sees me and everyone else in infrastructure as roadblocks to his genius. The first week, Draco tried to commit a completely untested block of code directly to our core web application gateway. No pull request, no peer review, no staging environment, just a direct push to production on a Friday afternoon. I rolled it back within seconds. He stormed into my office, yelling about corporate red tape and stifling innovation. I calmly explained our change management policy, Section 3.12. All production changes require a minimum 72-hour review and staging period. He called it archaic. I called it the reason our services don't spontaneously combust. He just sneered and walked off, muttering about real developers. A month later, he demanded full administrator access to our primary DNS resolvers, claims he needed to optimize domain resolution for his new microservices architecture. Our DNS servers handle millions of queries daily for thousands of clients. Any misstep here could cause a regional blackout. I told him no. Our security policy, Section 5.41, explicitly states that administrative access to core DNS infrastructure is restricted to two named individuals, both of whom have undergone specialized training and background checks. His name was not on the list. He tried to go over my head to my direct manager, Mr. Henderson. Henderson backed me up, albeit nervously. Draco later called Henderson a fuddy-duddy. He started developing his revolutionary client portal on his personal laptop, using tools not sanctioned by it. It was a security nightmare waiting to happen. He refused to use the company-issued, hardened dev workstations, said they slowed down his workflow. I sent him the BYOD policy, Section 2.3. All company-related development must occur on ApexNet provisioned equipment within the secure network perimeter. He replied with a single emoji, a middle finger. My gut told me this guy was going to be a problem. My internal monologue started to sound like a legal transcript. Every interaction, every email, every chat message was meticulously saved. I wasn't just observing, I was building a case. 2 weeks ago, the pressure ramped up. Draco had been pushing his next-gen router control project. He claimed it would dynamically optimize our network traffic, reducing latency by re-architecting core routing tables on the fly. The entire concept was madness. Our core network routers are the lifeblood of our operation. You don't re-architect on the fly. You plan, you test, you simulate, you implement during a scheduled maintenance window in the dead of night. He presented his project to the board. Mr. Henderson, my manager, was there. He gave it a lukewarm reception, citing potential integration challenges. Draco was furious. He called our current routing protocols antiquated, slow, and unfit for a modern, agile network. He promised the board a 20% latency reduction across the board. The board, bless their technologically illiterate hearts, loved the sound of 20% reduction. They greenlit his project, with the caveat that it needed full IT approval. That same day, Draco cornered me. I need full administrative access to the main gateway cluster production environment, he stated, his eyes shining with self-importance. My next-gen solution needs to bypass the old firewall rules and dynamically push routing updates directly. Your antiquated systems are throttling my genius. I looked at him. Our core gateway cluster processes all incoming and outgoing traffic, applies firewall rules, and manages our border gateway protocol routing tables. Giving him direct admin access, especially to bypass existing firewall rules, was like handing a toddler a loaded shotgun in a crowded room. Draco, I said, my voice carefully flat. You know that's impossible. Direct access to the core routing tables is restricted. Bypassing the firewall could expose our entire network, and more importantly, our clients' networks to catastrophic risks. It's against every security and change policy we have. I cited policy document APNC C-1, sections 4.21 and 6.53. He scoffed. Your policies are for small timers. I'm revolutionizing this place. The board approved my project. If you obstruct me, I'll go back to them. He slammed his fist on my desk. I need it now, this week, or the project fails, and it'll be your fault for lack of cooperation. My stomach churned, but my expression remained neutral. This was it, the breaking point, the moment he'd force my hand, and the moment I'd set the stage for his downfall. I paused, letting the silence hang heavy. My eyes went to the digital clock on my monitor, noting the exact time. "All right, Draco," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "I understand the urgency of your project." My internal thoughts were a whirlwind of malicious calculations. "I will escalate this request directly to Mr. Henderson and the Chief Technical Officer, Mr. Davies, outlining your specific requirements and the policy documents it contravenes." Draco smirked. "Good. Tell them I'll be in the data center at 800 sharp tomorrow, ready to implement." He then added, "Oh, and I'll need your direct console access credentials. For observational purposes, of course." The arrogance was breathtaking. He actually expected me to hand over my keys to the kingdom. I sent the email, detailing Draco's specific demands, referencing policy violations, and requesting explicit written approval from Mr. Henderson and Mr. Davies to proceed as Draco requested, citing project urgency as the reason. I explicitly stated that granting such access would create a significant security vulnerability and a single point of failure. I asked for clear, written instruction to override established protocols. I carbon copied our legal department and internal audit, just in case. Mr. Henderson, under pressure from the board, replied within hours. His email was a masterclass in corporate CYA. He approved temporary, supervised administrative access for Draco to facilitate the rapid deployment of the next-gen router control project, but explicitly stated that all actions must adhere to ApexNet's security protocols and be overseen by a senior engineer. He, however, did not explicitly authorize bypassing firewall rules or direct, unsupervised modification of routing tables. He essentially punted, giving Draco just enough rope. Draco saw it as full permission. I saw it as a green light to execute my master plan. From that moment on, I went into read-only mode regarding Draco. No arguments, no resistance, just meticulous clinical documentation. My personal project became Operation Phoenix Down. I set up a secure, encrypted log file. Every conversation with Draco, every email, every IM, every system log entry related to his project was copied, time-stamped, and cross-referenced. I began carrying a voice recorder in my pocket, legally permissible in our state for one-party consent. Draco never suspected. He was too busy basking in his own supposed brilliance. He asked for specific firewall rule exemptions. I created them, but only after receiving his explicit written request, detailing why each rule needed to be bypassed and which specific ports/protocols he intended to use. I emailed him for confirmation on each, emphasizing the security implications. He always replied, dismissing my concerns. "Just do it. It's fine." Click Save. He demanded access to the primary routing gateway's configuration console. I provided him with a monitored session, logged his every keystroke, and kept a live terminal open on my screen, watching his commands. He immediately tried to elevate his privileges beyond the temporary, supervised allowance. I gently reminded him of Mr. Henderson's email. He huffed but complied. For a little while, I reviewed the employee handbook, specifically sections on gross negligence, 11.4, unauthorized system access, 11.7, and breach of fiduciary duty, 11.9. I highlighted passages regarding accountability for actions that cause significant financial harm or reputational damage to the company or its clients. My plan wasn't just about getting Draco fired. It was about ensuring he faced consequences that followed him far beyond ApexNet. I also reviewed our client contracts. Many had clauses guaranteeing certain uptime percentages and outlining penalties for significant outages, especially if caused by internal negligence. This information would be crucial. Draco was building a bonfire and I was collecting the kindling. The morning of his dynamic routing deployment, Draco swaggered into the data center. He had a triumphant grin on his face. I was already there at my console, meticulously checking system health. He sat at the terminal I had prepared for him, logged in with the temporary credentials. "All right, old man," he quipped. "Watch and learn how a real network operates." He opened his custom script. It was a chaotic mess of shell commands, directly modifying routing tables, bypassing all sanity checks. It was designed to push new BGP routes directly to our internet peering points. "Draco," I said, my voice calm, "are you certain these routing changes have been thoroughly simulated and tested against our live traffic models?" He barely looked at me. "My simulations are infallible. These routes are perfect. They'll cut latency by 25%. Watch." He executed the script. The terminal screen scrolled with commands. My heart hammered, but my face remained impassive. For a minute, nothing seemed to happen. Then the first alarm started to flash on my system monitoring dashboard. Minor packet loss, then major, connections flickering. "What's happening?" Draco's confident smirk began to waver. "It appears your dynamic optimization is causing a rapid degradation of service," I stated, reading from the monitors. "Thousands of client connections are dropping. Our primary DNS resolvers are seeing massive query failures." The alarms escalated. Sirens blared from the automated systems. The lights on the server racks, usually a steady green, were a frantic chorus of red and amber. My phone, previously silent, began to buzz with calls and alerts. The system was hemorrhaging connections. No, Draco started frantically typing, trying to undo his changes. "It must be a fluke, a temporary glitch." "It's not a glitch, Draco," I said, my voice cold. "Your script pushed conflicting border gateway protocol routes. Our network is in a recursive loop, trying to send traffic to itself. We are effectively offline for our entire service area." The emergency override system activated, attempting to roll back to a last known good configuration, but Draco's script had already caused too much damage. A full region-wide internet outage. Hospitals, government offices, emergency services, businesses, all down. Mr. Henderson burst into the data center, his face ashen. "What the hell is going on here?" Draco spun around, his face pale. It was a system malfunction. The old infrastructure couldn't handle my optimization." He pointed at me, his finger trembling. "He gave me faulty access. He sabotaged me." I slowly pushed my chair back and stood up. "Mr. Henderson, with all due respect, that is a fabrication." My voice was quiet, but it cut through the chaos. "Draco Kalin specifically requested, in writing, to bypass standard firewall protocols and directly modify our core routing tables." I pulled out my tablet. On February 28th, at 10:17 a.m., Draco sent this email, requesting full admin access to the main gateway cluster production environment, specifically to bypass the old firewall rules. "I have a copy of your response, Mr. Henderson, granting temporary supervised administrative access." I projected a series of screenshots onto the large data center display. Here are the email confirmations, time-stamped, where Draco explicitly approved each firewall rule exemption. Here are the system logs from the monitored session, detailing Draco's keystrokes. Here are the chat logs where he explicitly stated, "Just push it, it's fine," when I raised concerns about his untested script. The room went silent, save for the wailing alarms. "And here," I continued, "is the recording of our conversation just moments before the outage, where Draco confirmed his script was infallible and perfect, dismissing my questions about testing and simulation." I played a snippet of his confident voice. Draco looked like a cornered animal. He set me up. I simply followed your instructions, Draco, and documented every step as per ApexNet Policy AppNops-3, Section 2.1. All non-standard operational requests must be thoroughly documented and verified by the requesting party. My eyes locked with his. Malicious compliance, perhaps, but everything I did was by the book. Everything you did was reckless and unauthorized. The immediate fallout was catastrophic. Within an hour, the CEO, Mr. Davies, arrived, flanked by 2 lawyers. The regional press was already reporting widespread outages. Calls poured in from the local police department, hospitals, and the mayor's office. Draco was immediately escorted out of the building by security, his access revoked. The lawyers descended like vultures, poring over my documentation. Mr. Henderson was visibly shaken, his career hanging by a thread. The IT department, working through the night, managed to roll back enough of the damage to restore partial service by morning, but the full impact would linger for days. ApexNet's reputation, built over decades, was shattered in minutes. Update 1. It's been 2 weeks. ApexNet is still reeling. We've managed to stabilize the network, but the financial hit from customer refunds, lost contracts, and regulatory fines is staggering. The lawyers confirm my documentation is airtight. Draco is facing a lawsuit from ApexNet for gross negligence and breach of contract. He's also being investigated by the FCC for critical infrastructure disruption. His genius got him blacklisted from the tech industry for life. Update 2, 1 month later. The dust is starting to settle. Mr. Henderson was demoted, then quietly retired. Mr. Davies, the CTO, took the fall for the board, stepping down to pursue other opportunities. I was promoted to Director of Network Operations. My first act was to implement a new, stringent change management protocol, explicitly stating that any attempt to bypass established procedures will result in immediate termination and potential legal action. Draco tried to declare bankruptcy, but the legal team found enough assets to pursue him. Update 3. 6 months have passed. ApexNet is slowly rebuilding trust. Our new security protocols are ironclad. We're still in court with various parties, but my detailed logs are proving invaluable. As for Draco Kalin, the last I heard, his next-gen router control project landed him not a spot on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, but a public defender. Apparently, his dynamic optimization skills extended to his personal finances, which are now even more dynamically optimized than our network was that day, which is to say, completely flatlined.